from the Levitical priesthood. None of those guys. They're just so jacked up, it ain't even funny. So the whole court system is messed up. So you're all the way down now, when all this starts happening, at 47 BC on down. And then Christ shows up, I think, at 3 BC. But before he shows up, John the Baptist shows up. Now, who is John the Baptist a type of? He said he came in the spirit and power of, it's over there in Luke, came in the spirit and power of Elijah. John the Baptist came in the spirit and power of Elijah. And he says he come eating wild locusts with a leather girdle. Like who? Like Elijah. He came just like Elijah came. And had the Jews not rejected him, in type, he would have been Elijah. So when you end up this verse back over in Malachi chapter 4, before you go into all this, it says, behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. And you know what? John the Baptist shows up and they reject him, so he doesn't fulfill it. So where does Elijah come back and then after that? In tribulation. And he's going to come before that great and dreadful day when the Lord comes back second advent. So when you're doing your dispensations, you want to make sure you understand. I don't have any more paper and I'm about out of time, but all of this has meaning, because if you don't understand what happens, I mean, you don't have to know, like I said, you don't have to know in depth what happened with the Greeks. But it's good to note that the Greeks were there, and that's where they got the Septuagint. That's where they got it. It's good to know the Egyptians were there. Why? Because you see a lot of these, a lot of influence in the Jewish traditions. That worldly stuff that comes in. Then the Syrians come back in. And these guys start showing up. And now all of a sudden they get infiltrated, the priesthood gets infiltrated by Esau, and it's the devil working through it. And then Herod the Great ends up on the throne. He dies, then his son takes over, and he's the one that rules during the time of Jesus Christ. And then his son takes over and goes right on into the whole New Testament with it. And then the Lord shows up in the New Testament over in Matthew. Now, if you go over to Matthew, we'll just try to get a start on that. When you get into Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, I said, all right, preacher, we're in the New Testament. We're home free now. No, really, now you're just you're really going to get into the mess, because here's where everybody takes this stuff. Well, I believe what's written in red and and all that, and that's great. I believe it too. But that don't necessarily, it's not to me. Jesus Christ came to seek and save that which was lost, right? To the who first and then who? Yeah.
Jew first.
To the Jew first and then the Gentile, right? So Jesus Christ came to the Jew. I'm not a Jew. We got any Jews in here tonight? Any Jews? Looking for a Jew? No Jews? Then it wasn't us. Matthew, Mark, Luke. So what happens is people start thinking, well, then now all of a sudden now I can take everything that's in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and I can apply it to me. And so blessed are them that are poor in spirit, for they shall be called the sons of God. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers. Blessed are these. But all them blessed, they don't have nothing to do with you. They have absolutely nothing to do with you in the church age. They have to deal with that Jew. And so what happens is this is where you end up. You get apostolics. You'll get Church of God. You'll get Church of Christ. You'll end up with some Methodists, Southern Baptist, and they'll all dabble in here and grab verses. Now, is this written to you? Yes. But it's not to you doctrinally. Are there some things in there that you can do? Sure. There's some things in here I can look over in a Pauline epistle and go, yep, that matches. I can say that. But that's where you've got to study to show yourself approved and rightly divide. But just to take it at face value, Matthew, can't. Why? Because if you do, you're going to be messed up doctrinally. You won't be biblically correct. All right, we'll take a break there. Amen.